If you can bear, you stay right beside me, yeah, and I won't forget, 'cause I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right, boy. Before I let go. Now we had a good time, and we can say we hurt each other. And boy, it's a shame. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna know. I wanna make sure I'm right. Don't let go. You know I think God come bright and shines on you. You know there's nothing I would not do. Before I let you go. I would never let you go before I go. Pull up the culture, boost with the water. I brought the squad with me, like I'm like and alive. Say it's champagne, I did the damn thing. Sure did that winner, singing and dancing all in the rain. Just wanna have a good time, run around inside, boy out there to the right. Funny hot drop. Watch your left, turn around and clap. Put the left slide now. Drop it down low, low to the floor. Now bring it up, tap and roll. Step on, kick on something you step. Flag to right, flag to left, work the middle, to the right a little.
All right, this is the boy comedian Edwin Douglas, and we are on Uheardme First Radio Talk Show. That's right, iheart-radio, Spotify.com, as well as Spreaker.com, of course, YouTube and Yahoo, and you can always catch us on demand. Plus, I also welcome you, my co-host, the one and only Mr. Motivator. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, and also allow me to bring in my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. How you doing, Mr. Motivator and comedian Edwin Douglas?
Doing great.
Doing great, man. Doing great. Well, today we are doing a special episode, and I have decided to dedicate this episode on the legendary John Singleton. For those who got the news that he had passed away April 29, 2019, it touches a lot of people who grew up under the what I call urban black film director, screenwriter, producer, and he means a whole lot to a lot of us that who follow him because he was a visionary. Before I go any further, I'm going to allow Mr. Motivator to give his input when he hears the name John Singleton. What the first thing comes to your mind?
A man of faith, a young man who stepped out to pursue his purpose, who was determined to make things happen, and he didn't let anything get in his way, and he did it.
Well, I remember his first film, and that was Boys in the Hood. That was technically 1991, and I had just got back from West Texas A&M University, and to see a brother come behind Spike Lee, another pioneer, legendary film director and producer. But it's great to support his work, and he did win an Academy Award and nominated Best Filmmaker and Director for Boys in the Hood and other films like Poetic Justice that came out 1993, and then Higher Learning 1995. Also, he put a film together, Four Brothers, 2005, and then, of course, one of the most popular one and one of my favorite, Baby Boy, with Snoop Dogg and Tyrese Gibson in Baby Boy 2001. Out of those films, or any film that you can remember, Mr. Motivator, what would be your favorite one?
I loved all of them. I think he brought some talent to the screen, and actually, to be honest with you, a lot of the people that he brought to the screen are still huge on the screen. But I would say my favorite was Boys in the Hood, because it gave a good depiction of the kind of things that actually go on in the street life, and I think that's when I really saw Ice. I think that's when I saw Ice-T. One of the first movies that I saw him in, and I became a fan. You know, I liked his music, but when I saw him in Boys in the Hoods and Wesley Snipes and all those guys were just so amazing. That was my favorite. I'll be honest with you.
And all his work was great. Black film that I really support. Yeah. Not to take away from any favorite films that I supported in my lifetime, but when you bring in someone like John Singleton, he brought reality to the big screen that a lot of us could relate to, and it became a classic. Okay, it became a classic, and also Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson and Tupac. But at the time when Tupac was living, mailman, thug individual, which has brought a lot of attention to our society. Now, that does not mean that every community have an individual walk in the same shoes, follow their footsteps, and do the same thing. But at that time, 1993, that film was very relatable, and I could relate to it. Because I used to work, not necessarily in the post office, but I used to, in corporate America, to deliver mail to the post office, and I could relate to that as well. Do you remember anything from Poetic Justice from back in the day? If you did, what was your favorite?
I enjoyed the whole movie, and the fact that Tupac showed another side of him. He showed his canny ability to be able to act as well as rap and to become the character that he was playing. And Janet Jackson was phenomenal as well. So they each made you feel, it felt real. It felt just like you were there. And that's why I really admire John Singleton, because not all film producers can bring reality there and allow you to sense the truth, the reality, the thing, the message that's there. So it was an amazing movie as well. So I enjoyed every aspect of that as well.
What we're going to do is take a quick break, and we'll come back. We're going to, you and I and also Uncle Ben, we're going to go into a couple more films and share our thoughts and memories on the late John Singleton, the great director. Don't you guys go away too far, you heard me? Yes, and that's what we're going to do. Stay tuned.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me in a moment. Tell me how you need it, yeah. I'll give it to you night and day. I'm talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day, yeah. 24/7. Yeah, all day, yeah. 24/7.
Loving it without you for 7 days straight, and now I can't live without you. And if we ever broke up, I won't have a kid without you. You forever in my heart. I won't forget about you. I be crushing you on Monday like it's Wednesday. Depressed about that, what your friends say. GCC3 is what your friends say. I'm so happy you ain't listen to your friends say. You can tell me how you want it, how you need it, I don't mind. It's right here by my side, you got a sight, you got a mind. And I despite you hit the time, but I was like, ain't so lying a few more times. When you hit back, I'm gonna respond.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me in a moment. Tell me what you need, yeah. I'll give it to you night and day. Come on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day, yeah. 24/7. Yeah, all day, yeah. 24/7.
You be throwing that shit back like it's a Thursday. I be treating you like every day your birthday. Don't think what you on your worst day. I got you on a new level like what first day. When you sit down, I pick you up, put on your crown and lift you up. I put a rock all on your finger, so much ice to push you up. Hurt your feelings about you, baby, so don't wish you luck. Talk relationship goals, to be like, yup, 24/7. With the 411, when you see me kneel like Kaepernick, call a reverend. So I got $1 million in the stash for a wedding. If you ready, let me know, cause it's whatever.
But I know you in a big way. Yeah, in a big way. It's my birthday. Cause I know they keep it Thursday. Ain't no saying this is that way. We just going away. 365, you ain't the only one I got. Not like you giving up. And all my ladies, if you feel me, don't be singing it out. Yeah. I'm talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How you doing? Yeah. Call me in a moment. Tell me what you need. Yeah. I'll give it to you night and day. I'm talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day, yeah. 24/7, yeah, all day, yeah. 24/7.
All right, we are back on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. I am your host, comedian Edwin-Douglas, along with my co-host, Mr. Motivator, and of course, our DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. Before we went on a quick break, I was talking to Mr. Motivator about some of the things that he can remember under the legendary producer, director John Singleton. And before we let Mr. and the only one, Uncle Ben, give his input, for those who just not tuning in, this is a special episode on the legendary John Singleton, one of the greatest producers, directors of all time. And John Daniel Singleton is an American film director, screenwriter, producer, best known for directing Boys in the Hood. For the film, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Director, becoming the first African American and the youngest person to have ever been nominated for the award. And that's what I'm talking about. Also, for those who do not know, he is also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the fraternity that I am a part of as well. Uncle Ben, I asked Mr. Motivator what was one of his favorite, and now I'm going to ask you, what was one of your favorite films that you can remember? Uncle Ben, my favorite one was with Jody, Baby Boy, and Snoop Dogg. Uncle Ben. Why? Uncle Ben, Jody reminded me when I had dated one of the young ladies back in the day, when I had to go up beside his head when I was dating his mama. Uncle Ben. Mr. Motivator, you hear him, man?
Yeah.
Uncle Ben, you asked me why. Yeah, I did. Well, Baby Boy was one of my favorites also because the work that John Singleton allowed Tyrese to be himself. Also, all the actors and actresses that was in the film did an excellent job relating to the West Coast, the hood, and also the film was also relatable. Young boy living with mother, single mom, raised a son, and now she has the opportunity to have someone in her life. And then with the character, Jody, had to realize it took another man to make him realize it's time for him to grow up. What about you, Mr. Motivator?
That was great, because I think in society today, that is one of the things that hurts a lot of our young men when they don't have a man in their lives, and especially among a lot of our minorities. It's very common to see a lot of the youth grow up and not have be raised by a man, or have a dad or someone, a male figure close by. And that movie helped us to realize that we all serve a purpose. We need the moms, but we also need the dads. We need a man to help guide us, to help us to understand how to be a man. So that was a great movie, and it was a life-changing movie. And again, I admire John Singleton so much, and I look at the fact that at the time of his death, it was reported that he was worth more than $35 million. And when I read about him being broke and not having any money, and he used his credit card, to get some equipment, to get things that he needed, and he basically came up with the ideas and the tools that he needed to shoot his own movies. And man, he did a wonderful job. And again, what a great amazing brother to be inspired by.
That's great, and I agree with you, the business side of it as well. And for those who are listening, today I ran into one of my old buddies, childhood, not necessarily classmates, but he was a lot younger than me. And come to find out that when I was walking outside Walmart, and he yelled at me. And usually, man, when I'm out in public, man, I keep stepping, because so much stuff is going on. But I'm not arrogant, I would turn around and see what's up, what's going on, but I happened to recognize him, and I did turn around and walk back to him. We started talking, and he had something in common, Mr. Motivator. He said he was doing comedy. He's a stand-up comedian. And some of the old cats that he started naming, like Junebug and the rest of the that I recognize the name. And what I'm going with is, at that moment, I was able to share wisdom to him, because this game has changes. You got to be creative to get yourself out there. Like, I'm saying this because that's what John Singleton did. He, like you said, he used his credit card because he felt like that his work, his gift, he has faith. He was all about his dream. He was a dreamer, and he made it happen. So what I'm telling you folks, regardless what your dream is all about, you have to believe in yourself that it's going to work out. Yes, sir. Yes, that's what I wanted to say about a little more about John Singleton. Mr. Motivator, what other film director or producer that you can compare right along with John Singleton?
It's kind of difficult because I think John was in a class all by himself. The things that he brought forth really gave a good depiction of especially among minorities, and what it's like living in the hood, and how we deal with things, and how we react. I think he helped the world to understand us somewhat better. And another director that I like a lot of his work is director Clint Eastwood, and also Spike Lee. I think those two men are brilliant as far as I'm concerned at giving a sense of real depiction and having a message. But again, John Singleton to me was a signature film director, artist who did a great job of bringing the realness into his movies to give people a great sense of what was going on.
Great. Let me give everyone a little more detail, a little history about John Singleton. And this is great to know. And this is what you heard in the first radio talk show is all about, sharing our history. Okay. John was born January 6, 1968 in Los Angeles, California. Died April 29, 2019 with a stroke. Okay. He was the son of Danny Singleton, a mortgage broker, and also Sheila Ward, of a pharmaceutical company sales executive. He was raised in two separate households by his unmarried parents, John Singleton attended to film writing program at USC. After graduating from high school in 1986, while he was studying, he won 3 writing awards from the university, which led to a contract with a creative artist agency during his sophomore year. Columbia Pictures brought his strip for Boys in the Hood, 1991, and budgeted it at $7 million. To note that the story comes from his own experience in South Central LA and credit his parents with keeping him off the street. Now that's what I'm talking about, and our young people need to know these things. It's our responsibility as what I call leaders, myself, Mr. Motivator, and of course Uncle Ben, to put these information out here so you can know something, the history of the legendary John Singleton. Now, there was other people that were part of his journey that he put on the map. Ice Cube, for the actor, he was already out there as an artist. Also Tupac, same as him, and Busta Rhymes. And these guys was already out there, but for them to cross over to be a part of his work, it really gave these young guys an opportunity to expose their gift and talent. What do you think, Mr. Motivator?
You nailed it on the head. I agree with you 100%. John Singleton gave a lot of talented artists the opportunity to display their talents. Even Snoop Dogg was amazing in his part that he played. And we have a lot of people, artists that are gifted with their voice and being able to rap and to do different things, but to also know that the artists have other amazing talents that had John Singleton not given them an opportunity to have roles in his movies, none of us would have ever known how talented some of these artists really were.
Okay, cool. What we're going to do, we're going to wrap this part up, and I'm thankful for you and Uncle Ben giving your input on the legendary John Singleton, and I felt like I had to do this. But when we come back, guys, we're going to do what we do. We're going to do Relationship Monday and also Motivation Moment. Don't you guys go away too far, because this is Uheardme First Radio Talk Show. You heard me?
Tease me, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby. You know what I want and what I need, baby. Let me hear you say, please. Let me hear you say, please. Please, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby. You know what I want and what I need, baby. Let me hear you say, please. Let me hear you say, please. Lollipopping, twerking on some J's on the dance floor, no in the way. I take my time with it, bring you close to me. I don't want no young dumb. Bring me like we listening Josie. I was trying to lay low, freaking it slow, when I'm freaking again. Hey, gotta celebrate. Your man look good, but it's on the way. You can sweat the weave out. You shouldn't even be out. Ain't no reservations at the you go on. I'm gonna ride it, so just like you like it tonight. And after that, let's do it one more time. Girl, I ain't one for begging, but now you got me begging. Please me, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby. You know what I want and what I need, baby. Let me hear you say, please. Let me hear you say, please. Please, baby. basura, oh, check that. Nobody do this how you like it tonight. And after that, let's do it one more time. Girl, it was a bad year, now you got me thinking. Please, babe, turn around and just kiss me, babe. You know what I need, babe. Let me hear you say, please, let me hear you say, come on back here, forget me slowly. You better say that, bring them, say that, yeah. Do my back, like I do, y'all just break that. Baby, turn around and tease me, baby. You got what I'm finding, baby. Let me hear you say, please, let me hear you say, please, baby. Turn around and tease me, baby. You got what I'm finding, baby. Let me hear you say, please, let me hear you say, please.
All right, it's your boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas, and we are back on Uheardme First Radio Talk Show, and I'm your host, and right along with my co-host, mr-motivator, and my DJ sidekick. Before we get into the Relationship Monday, I want to get a shout-out to my brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yes, Conclave in Philadelphia from July the 30th through August the 3rd. I will be there. And for those who want to know, as you heard me said earlier, yes, the late legendary John Singleton is and was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Spring 87 Beta Omega chapter, that's USC/Pepperdine and Loyola Marymount College. Yes. Yo. All right. Mr. Motivator, I know we normally have guests, but today I had to make this episode very special. And before I get into Relationship Monday, anything that you want to add on to the legendary John Singleton?
I'm happy and elated that you decided to pay tribute and to give honor to such a great, awesome individual. I think John Singleton made a contribution to the world, and he'll be missed. And it's just really sad for this brother to leave us, and especially at not a very old age, at a young age. And I consider 51 years old to be young, because you're considered middle age. And his wisdom and everything that he learned from his experiences, and as he grew up, really blessed a lot of us. And I think had he lived, he would have been able to add more to the venue. And again, it's great to honor the talent, and we've been blessed with a lot of great talent in our world, in our society. And it's sad and tragic that sometimes we don't really appreciate them until they're no longer with us. So, but again, it's great to give tribute to an individual that's very deserving of it.
All right. I appreciate you sharing your input. But before I get into Relationship Monday, in a couple of weeks, the creator of Selective Single Group will be on the show in a couple of weeks, and his name is Anton Baptiste. And he will be on the show. And for those who just now tuning in, I have something special to the fellas and the ladies on Relationship Monday. And today I am going to talk about being single is a good thing. Being single is a good thing. Being single is not a bad thing at all. See, for those who have been single and waiting on the right man or woman, it is a good thing to wait. Maybe you need to get yourself together financially, mentally, or spiritually. Perhaps you got yourself together already. I wouldn't think you will go before your time to get yourself involved with the wrong person. Maybe you like the way they look. Maybe they share great conversation. Maybe health-wise, physically, they got it going on. But they may not have the other things that you must say that make you two compatible. Maybe they're not spiritual. Maybe their finances is not in order. Maybe their credit is screwed up. Maybe they have not let go of the past. I say this because being single is a good thing. Also, being single is not a bad thing at all. I am a single man. I have been married and also divorced. I've noticed when I have put myself in a position to start dating, things are not the same as it were 2 decades ago. Why? Because so many people have been hurt, lied to, misled, abused, but whatever the case may have been, for them to be thinking the way they think today, maybe they did not let go. Maybe they think they don't have the problem. Well, before you open your heart, you need to get yourself checked out and not point fingers at other people. Maybe you need to get yourself some help. Not necessarily go to a doctor. Maybe you need to get on your knees and pray and ask God to show you a way, to show you a sign, to give you the green light, or hear an audio voice from Him to you and ask Him, why I am single. Do you have other plans for me? Do I need to be single until you bring the right man or the right woman that will fulfill my dreams, my goals, and then be connected where myself and soon-to-be soulmate can turn our relationship into a ministry? All I'm trying to say is, this is your boy, comedian Edwin Douglas, on Relationship Monday. All right, Mr. Motivator, talk to me.
hey, you brought some really good points out. Being single is tough, and we got to look at, hey, what am I bringing to the table? What have I worked on myself? And if I've worked on me, then it will help me to better understand other people. But it's hard to want to take on a relationship and you haven't worked on yourself. And you touched on some great things, and I think a lot of single people have unrealistic expectations, and they're looking for something that they're not ready for, or either they're looking for something they're not on the same equal level with. Again, I enjoyed what you said, and I hope that a lot of people, especially the ones that are single, take what you said at heart and work on themselves.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take another break, and then another break behind that, and then we're going to come back with Motivation Moment by Mr. Motivator. Don't you guys go away too far. Hey, this is the boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas. Are you trying to get yourself together, or are you trying to find out what's the best way to get your workout on? Are you trying to get in shape, or are you trying to lose weight? But whatever it is that you're trying to do, I have the solution for you. Log on Uheardme.com. That's Uheardme.com. DHERBS.com. Trust me. Log on it. They have everything that you need. You heard me? Don't you guys go away too far.
We gonna start this thing alright. Duval in the money logging out. Come on, come on. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. You got a lot to be smiling for. So what the fuck you be wildin' for? Come on, I get my grin on. I'm smiling, cause I always get my win on. I've been on so many different stages. Graced the cover of 100 magazine pages. Made people smile everywhere that I went. I even put it on the first black president. It's evident I'm hot as a crock pot, with a big ass smile like Mr. Hot Spot. Yes, you got a lot to be smiling for. So what the fuck you be wildin' for? If you're breathing, you achieving. We having fun this evening, believe that. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. Put your middle fingers up in the air. So the hater girl don't even much care. I'm finna give another bag this year. My ex, you can have that fear. Hey, this year, bad vibes we cut off. More trips, more chicks with no draws. More drinks, more smoking, more cars. More shows with dudes all this stuff. Look, I ain't trying to throw no shame, cause I can't see them in my lane. As long as my rent getting paid, I can care less with a free thing. You in the club every night with no job. Eating good up a food stamp card. You made a killing last year off fraud. If you know you ain't going to work tomorrow, I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. You got a lot to be smiling for. you be wild. If you're breathing, you achieving. We having fun this evening, believe that.
All right, it's your boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas, and we're back on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. And before we get into Motivation Moment by Mr. Motivator, I will let you guys know again, in a couple more weeks, the creator of the Selective Single Dating Group will be on the show, and his name is Anton Baptiste, will be on the show. All right. Mr. Motivator, give us Motivation Moment. Go right ahead, my brother.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say to you today, invest in yourself and get yourself checked out. I think Albert Einstein said once that logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. It's great to use your imagination and to believe, but we also have to invest in ourselves. Try to make ourselves better. There was a guy named Wolfgang who made a statement, and he said, everyone is gifted, but some people never open their package. In other words, we all have something to offer. We all have great qualities within us, but it's up to you and I to invest in ourselves, to learn what our strengths and our weaknesses are, so that we can be better prepared to deal with relationships, to deal with our families. You know, we got to ask ourselves, you know, what do I need to invest in? You know, maybe some of us may need to work on our hygiene. And if it's not our hygiene, someone may need to work on their self-esteem. We all have more than one area that we need to work on and get checked out. You know, we see that a lot of us get stressed out, and because we don't get checked out, we're running high. Our blood pressure is high, our cholesterol is high. We don't go to the doctor to get a physical and to get checked out to see what's going on with us. I think if we get ourselves checked out, we can save not only our life, but we can save the lives of many others. And a lot of people are getting stressed out concerning relationships, and they create things that aren't there. I think we should check ourselves out and check out the environment around us and find out what we have and how we can use what we have to adapt, to fit in, to attract the kind of people that we want to attract in a relationship. Some people are saying, oh, Mr. Motivator, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, you just don't know. It's a crazy world. Everything is crazy. Well, let me say this. Life is full of obstacles, and we all just have to learn how to deal with the obstacles. Now, in my book, Success is an Attitude, I cover a few things to give people ideas about dealing with obstacles. So I'm going to give you just a few of the things that I put in my book that I think maybe will enlighten someone today. Number one, challenge the future by competing against the past. Try to better yourself. Number two, focus on an opportunity rather than on the problem. Choose your own direction rather than climb on the bandwagon with everybody else. Aim high. Aim for something that will make a difference rather than something that is safe and easy to do. The next thing, count your blessings, not your troubles. Learn to live one day at a time. Practice a do-it-now habit. When you decide you're going to do something, you make up your mind, do it. And the last thing, never give up. Never quit or give up regardless of the obstacles or circumstances that hinder you. Too many people give up. Too many people just decide that life is too overwhelming and they cash in all the chips. But you, the individual right now that's listening to me, I want you to understand that you are special, you are unique. There has never been another you, nor will there ever be. God made you unique. Even twins don't have identical fingerprints. Even though they may be identical, their fingerprints are not, because God has made each of us unique. It's up to you to appreciate what you have and your uniqueness, and to be thankful. Develop a thankful attitude. And when you work on your attitude and you begin to appreciate your good qualities and work on improving some of the things that you have challenges with, you begin to enjoy life better. You'll embrace it. You'll have more friends. And if you take those things into consideration, invest in yourself, and always get yourself checked out, because if the car shows a red light, hey, you're going to the mechanic, you're going to get your car checked out, but what about your body? What about you? What about your mind? What about your mental, physical state of well-being? Ladies and gentlemen, live your life and enjoy it to the fullest. Dare to dream and keep thinking big. Appreciate who you are and whose you are and what you have on the inside of you, and your life will be much more complete. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mr. Motivator.
All right. We got a few moments. Uncle Ben, anything you want to say? Uncle Ben, how is the comedy Bible tour doing? What happened in Waco, Uncle Ben? Oh, man, I'm glad you asked, man. I enjoyed myself, man, and y'all know me. When I grab the mic, I'm so focused to entertain the audience, where people come to see, make people laugh. You know, I'm cool off the stage. If you've never seen me perform in person, I'm a whole different person. Mr. Motivator, no, we've done, several projects together. He knows I am, and you too, Uncle Ben. But I enjoyed One Fellowship Church members. They had me in a special moment, and I could not help it but give back, and technically give God the glory. That comes straight from the heart. But a special thank you to the one and only Deborah Tucker. If you're listening, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I thank you, because you have contacted me back in November, and you were very nice enough to let me know what was going on, and things did not work out the first time. But like I told you, but God allowed me to hear his audio voice to contact you, to introduce you to the Comedy Bible Tour. And thank you for being obedient. Thank you for the pastor. Thank you for everyone to allow your soul to be fed with laughter and the word. And I hope all you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate you. Yes. But next week, I will be talking to you guys about the Comedy Bible Plus. That's more of a dinner and a concert, and I'm looking forward to that. And y'all just have to wait until we come back, and I'll tell you all about it. Mr. Motivator, anything you want to say you got coming up? The mic is yours, bro.
Oh, I'd like to say that if you know anyone that's negative, they're dealing with a really bad low image, you can get them a copy of my book, Successes and Attitude. It's at Amazon.com. Just Successes and Attitude by Dwight Jeffrey. I think it will motivate and encourage them to break out of that depression and to set some goals and to work towards fulfilling their purpose. The other thing that I have is that I'm working on is the Joy Bum Comedy Show, and it's the joybumcomedyshow.com, which will be airing this summer. And we just want to thank all of the people that support our show, support the broadcast, and thanks for all the emails and all the responses that we're getting from the people that have been enlightened by our show. And I want to just thank everyone and encourage them to keep listening to the broadcast and to take whatever we can bring to make their day better. Take it and use it.
And for those who just now tuning in for the first time, You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show is a 1-hour platform that brings in real people that are going to tell real stories to entertain your spirit and soul. Yes, that's what this show is all about. Real people, real stories. And we're always on demand on iheart-radio, Spotify.com, Spreaker.com, Yahoo, YouTube, and, of course, Google Podcasts. All you have to do is log on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show, and all our episodes is out there. And for next week, our guest will be country music artist Matt Weston. Yes, and then the following week, you heard me call his name a couple of times earlier in the episode. He is the creator of Selective Single Dating Group. Yes, Anton Baptiste will be on the show. Until next time, I'm your host, comedian Edwin Douglas, right along with my co-host, Mr. Motivator, and of course, Uncle Ben, our DJ sidekick. Until next time, peace, and may God bless you.
Feeling so deep in the feeling, noticing really lightly, you control my anxiety. Feeling like I'm touching the feeling. When I'm with you, I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to me. Ooh, I'll never get over you. I'm begging to get me high like you do. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you. I'm begging to get me high like you do. The heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, and the heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, it just won't stop to go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, and the heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, it just won't stop to go. How many ways can I say that I need you, baby? True. I think I might die without you. Feeling all over my body. You know how I like it. Ain't gotta tell you what to do. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you. I'm saying to get me high like you. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you. I'm saying to get me high like you. The heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, the heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, it just won't stop to go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, the heart go bottom, dee-dee-da-do, it just won't stop to go. Head over heels in love, right in front of you, ain't gotta look no more, baby. I wanna build this love, everything you own, you ain't gotta ask for, you don't need boot up, boot up, boot up, boot up. So you from the jump, I don't wanna choose you. Got me boot up, boot up, boot up, boot up. Grab me by the waist, baby, pull me up. I'll never get over you until I find something to get me high like you do. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you until I find something to get me high like you do. Listen to my heart go bottom, baby, I do. My heart go bottom, baby, I do. It just won't stop, it go bottom, baby, I do. My heart go bottom, baby, I do.
Low battery.
This has been another great episode on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. Until next time, peace, and may God bless you.